Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Start Smart podcast, where I interview founders, innovators, and business professionals with one goal: to inspire and prepare the next generation of entrepreneurs and leaders. I'm Rex Zhang, your host, and without further ado, let's get right into it. Hello, everyone. Today I'm with Mahir Laul. He's the founder of Velric, and basically what Velric does is that it focuses on building the gold benchmark for hiring and talent recruitment. Mahir, it's great to have you on today.
Thank you, Rex, for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Could you give a quick introduction of yourself for people that don't know you already?
Yeah. So I'm an 18-year-old founder, entrepreneur, building the next benchmark for talent acquisition and hiring based off of AI scoring. We want to change how hiring is done completely. Unlike a lot of entrepreneurs out there, I didn't go to school for business or economics or anything like that. I was actually in Tisch, NYU Tisch. I have a background in acting. Started off, I always wanted to be an actor, and I did theater for most of my life, and then I went to a performance arts boarding school in the middle of nowhere in Michigan. And then I got into Tisch, went to Tisch, but that's when summer before starting Tisch, that's when I started Velric, because I saw the problem within the industries. And it needed to be fixed. So at that point, it was like, bye-bye acting, hello startup.
Oh, yeah. That's actually very interesting. So can you just give a brief introduction of Velric, the company, and what you guys do over there?
So what we're doing is, how Velric works is user comes onto a platform, they input everything that they would essentially on a resume, but onto our survey. AI analyzes everything, including LinkedIn's, your input, your resumes, and then it makes personalized AI missions. You don't have to do any more take-home assessments. You don't have to keep applying for jobs. All you do is you come onto the platform, do these personalized missions that the AI made for you in seconds, and that's it. You're done. You just wait. And ideally, within 24 hours, our partner recruiters, employers should be reaching out with interviews through the app directly. On the recruiter side, we offer a recruiter dashboard where we have the AI candidate job match. You could filter out candidates, and very accurate AI system. It's a full HR ecosystem that we're building. We're also going to have a transcript, a deepfake checker, GPA conversions, and then we're also working on something called the Velric eLearn platform, where your missions are generated based off of your learning. And you learn while you do missions, and it won't be used for testing purposes. It's just for learning.
That's very cool. Yeah, I think definitely everyone should look out for Velric in the next year or so, because it's gonna be big soon. Yeah, I want to go back to what you said about
100%.
Yeah, I wanted to go back to what you said about acting, how you kind of switch your interest over from acting to now owning a startup.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned to me before that acting, a lot of it actually transfers over to startups, because a lot of things you have to do as a startup founder is you have to be able to learn how to like perform or like present yourself well to maybe like investors or customers leading the company. So I just wanted to ask your take. How has your experience in acting helped you as a startup CEO?
Yeah, acting is all about confidence, and startups is all about confidence, right? You need to have confidence in yourself. You need to have confidence in your product. You need to have confidence on your team. Not only that, acting builds a sort of discipline, which no profession really teaches you. So it teaches you to work hard, because in acting, every role you play, you have to really learn that character. You have to learn the profession of that character. To be flexible, you need to be able to warp into that character. And that's what it's like running a startup, right? You have to be able to warp into whatever things that need to get done, because sometimes you may not have the right team for it. Sometimes you may not have the right people. So you yourself are the ones that are responsible for your company. If something goes wrong, it doesn't matter whose fault it is. It's your fault, and you have to take ownership. You have to take charge of that. Not only that, when we literally go into the theatrics of it, the way that you present yourself, the way that you hold yourself, the way that you use your hand gestures, right? All of that in-person stuff, that matters a lot, which acting really helped me with. A lot of the public speaking skills, a lot of conversation skills that I have, I can give credit to my acting for that, because sales is not easy. But when you have learned acting, it's very easy to master, in my opinion.
Yeah. Do you think that's like one of the most important skills to be a successful startup founder or leader, is to be able to present yourself well? What do you think are some of the most important traits that startup leaders need to have?
I think the most important trait that you need to have is to be able to convince. That leads into sales. Sales leads into revenue, right? And eventually you need revenue in your company. Revenue has to be first. And for that, you need to know how to convince people, right? Convince that your product is great. Convince why your product is better than the others. Convince that why you're the right team for this. Convince that you're the right founders to be invested in. Sales is everything because you're not just selling your product, you're not selling your ecosystem, you're selling yourselves.
Absolutely.
You're selling yourselves to investors, you're selling yourselves to your clients, you're selling yourselves to the public. So it's all about sales.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's great advice. Yeah, moving forward, I know you're in New York City right now, right? And were you previously at NYU or are you still at NYU right now?
I'm taking a leave of absence from NYU. Not sure if I'm going back yet or not, but I'm currently not at NYU.
Yeah.
I decided to stop going to classes almost a week, two weeks in, and I was like, no, I can't deal with this.
Oh, yeah. Why'd you choose to go to school in New York? Do you think like that environment of New York has helped you a lot with your business? How important do you think the environment is? I know New York is one of the largest cities in the world and it has so many opportunities. Like just networking with people around the city, how important is it to have that environment around you?
Yeah, so for me, I mean, I picked NYU because it is the world's best acting school. It was rated #1. So of course I decided to go there for Tisch, but then I dropped out. But the thing is, I would say all uh, all of my success that the little amount of success that I've had right now, it's been 50% through LinkedIn and 50% through New York. I'm
Okay.
telling you, being in New York is one of the best things for your startup because the startup community here is phenomenal. You have people who are always willing to help you. You have friends who are always willing to help you, and it's just the hustle culture that you won't be able to get anywhere else. I would have been 10 times far behind if I was doing this in Canada or in somewhere in a remote town or something like that. And I'm a big advocate for New York. I think it's one of the greatest cities in the world, and I will love New York forever, no matter what.
Absolutely. Well, like compared to like SF, do you think what are the advantages do you think you like about New York over like some other cities?
Well, I haven't spent too much time in SF, but from what I've heard from people and my limited few days there is SF is very dead and it's all just AI tech, AI tech,
Hmm.
AI tech. While New
Yeah.
York has all sorts of different entrepreneurship, business, fashion tech, like legal tech, and there's so many different techs that are in New York and there's so many different collaborations that happen that it is very difficult to get bored. While in SF there's nothing really that happens. People are always just on their computers and there's no events, there's no parties because as much as people are like, oh, parties, yes, parties. Parties are where you connect. Parties are where you network. Not like ragers or raves or things like that, but like actual networking events, black tie parties, galas, things like that. You don't find those in SF.
Hmm.
I would say, like I said, 50% being in New York. I try to go to one event at least a day, no matter what. Even if there aren't any events, I'll go find events because no matter what, every event, either I get a client, I get a potential lead, or I find an investor. There's always something to get out of these events.
So do you live by the saying, like it's the very like cliche saying that your network is your net worth, or do you have like a different take on that?
Well, you could be the most dumb person and you could have the most cracked friends, but again, if you're very dumb and slow, your business is not going to go anywhere.
So
You
you
can
have to
have
take
them
that.
you have to leverage your connections into making it worth something.
Right.
Yes, connections are very important. I mean, our whole company right now is based off of connections. We're getting leads from connections. We're getting investors from connections, right? But you have to learn how to leverage your connections because if you don't, then what are connections for?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of people, they just try to be very transactional, meet people just to get something out of them. I think it's very important to also bring something to the table yourself to be able to take that initiative and actually leverage them. I think that's very good advice. Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that I don't hang out with any of my friends from
Mm.
NYU anymore. All of my friends are either 10 to 15 years older than me. They're all graduated. all doing something big with their lives, because those are the people that you need to be around to make something of yourself. Like even when I go out late at night, like if I come back home at 3 a.m., it's usually because I'm with some of these people just at like a bar or at a restaurant, right? It's not me partying around. It's me
Absolutely.
spending time with these people, picking their brains, learning more about them,
Mhm.
because that's one of the biggest advantages you can get, is talking to people who are older than you. Because what's happening right now, what I've noticed within the community, within the startup community, is people are just trying to, oh, startup founder this, startup founder that, and they're just trying to post on LinkedIn, and they're like, oh, Gen Z marketing this, Gen Z marketing that. But I feel like that's all wrong, because you're not connecting with the older generation. The older generation has 10 times more wisdom than you ever will, in my opinion,
Absolutely.
because their minds weren't haunted with Chat GPT and some of these bullshit trends that were out there, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
absolutely.
There's a lot to learn from older people, and the way that they do marketing is completely different and very valuable. And a lot of these people that I see running their companies, and all they care about is like just bullshit marketing, they aren't getting anywhere, because they aren't taking advice from the people who are older than them,
Yeah.
because they are the ones who've built the real wealth, right? Even VCs. A lot of VCs out there have never even started their own company, and they're just working for a VC firm, just handing out LPs money, and they don't know what they're getting themselves into. And in my opinion, they'll see in the next 50 years that majority of these companies will just go to shit, because all they care about is Gen Z marketing this, Gen Z marketing that. But you can't build a company off of all that stuff. You
Yeah.
need to really listen to the older people who are always around you. You need to actually do how business is done. You need to do your market research. You need to have plans. You need to have goals. And a business can't just be built off of just
Mhm.
spending just putting VC money out there somewhere. I mean, some of these companies don't even care about revenue at all.
Yeah.
And which, in my opinion, is like the most bullshit way of running a company.
Yeah. I think, yeah, definitely. I think the startup culture is getting a little bit washed right now with all of these. Like, I think it's become very inauthentic. People kind of just want that founder role, and they have the idea that they can just like do anything. It's going to be like a easy process. Even on LinkedIn, I think a lot of the posting that I see is a lot of it is just AI inauthentic slop. And I think there's so much you can do so much better than that, you know. But there's definitely like a handful
Exactly.
that are actually doing something that's actually authentic, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think being the youngest, as you said from before, you're the youngest person, like among a lot of your friends. I think that's great. I think you can't go wrong by being the youngest person in the room and absorbing everything from everyone. I think before you said you took a leave from NYU from college. I was just wondering, what do you think is the value from college these days? Like, did
There's
you
none.
not see that
There's none.
value in
At
NYU?
all. No, no, zero. I always knew that the education system was flawed, and I know it's very flawed. And my beliefs were confirmed exactly when I started getting invited to hackathons, to classrooms, to online schooling platforms, to be like, oh, can you come speak at this? Can you come speak at that? And I'm like, what? Why? I haven't done anything yet. Velric doesn't have revenue. What do you mean? What do you want? What do you want me to come say? Just do Gen Z social media marketing and you'll be successful? No, that's not the truth. You got to put money on the table. You got to put food on the table, right? And when you don't have revenue, it all ties back to revenue with me, right? It's all about the fact that you have a very little success. You have very little success in your life, and the education system will just take you in. They're like, teach our kids how to build this, how to build that. And then a lot of these schools are just all about ethics. Oh, ethics this, ethics that. It's all bullshit. It's business. Business is business. You have to do what you have to do to make money, you know? I think a lot of the classes are BS. I think unless if you want to be an accountant or a lawyer or actually or engineer, right? I think even computer science these days, people aren't getting their degrees. They're just learning coding themselves. With Velric, what we're doing is degrees don't even matter. Recruiters can't even see what degrees the people hold. We're only doing skills-based hiring,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So that's where we're trying to redefine how hiring should work. That a lot of these universities, in my opinion, are going to go obsolete if they don't change their methods. Because the thing is, there's so much new information coming out there, and there's so many new methods of doing things that an old classroom education just can't keep up.
Yeah. Do you think like the education environment is changing now? Like people are breaking out of this traditional like 4-year bachelor's degree college to
Percent.
job?
100%. But the thing is, if you can't drop out just for the clout at the same time. But if you're somebody who has support from your family, you have support, you have a little bit of money, you know that you could spend multiple years doing this while not starving to death, then I think you should not be in university. You should be focusing on your business. But the thing is, it depends all on situations. If you come from a not such a fortunate family, and you need to put a food on the table, right? You got to do what you got to do, and sometimes this jobs still require degrees. So you go get a degree, but while you get a degree, if you want to be a founder or something like that, you do something on the side. But again, the world is very competitive these days, and if you're not putting 100% into your business, you're not gonna get anywhere anytime soon. But there's a lot of people saying that, oh, they're running successful startups while being in university. That's just fake. If the startup is successful or social media successful and they're saying they're in university, it's fake. They hire somebody to do their homework. They go to school once a month to just submit their items, and that it's fake. They really aren't in university. But yeah, I don't think a university degree has that value anymore.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So I just have a couple more questions for you. Where do you
Yeah.
see like Velric in the next few years, or like you personally in your own career?
Next year I see Velric with $10 million in ARR. In 2027, I see Velric having $100 million ARR, which should put us at over $1 billion valuation, multi-billion-dollar valuation. So that's where I see this going. Whether that leads to IPO or whether that leads to us staying private, that doesn't matter. What matters is we want to be valued at the billions. We want to be making multi-billions. We want to be a money-making powerhouse. And we also want to of course, the main thing is we want to redefine how hiring is done. We want to change the fact how people are getting hired. We want to make it easier for companies to hire people and to find the right talent, a talent who doesn't lie on their resume, talent who actually works their ass off to earn that spot.
Yeah, no, that's very great. One last question for you. What's one last piece of advice you'd maybe give to viewers out there? Maybe they're trying to kind of take that leap from their like traditional career. They may be in like all stages of life. Just maybe it's like the best piece of advice that you have or that you've ever heard.
Just start doing what you need to do. Like you stop stalling. There's people come up with excuses all the time. Oh, I have to do this. Oh, I have to do that. You can figure it out if you really want it. There is no excuse, right? I think if you really want to do something, you can do it. There's many people who've gone from rags to riches, right? Riches to even more riches. And I think the point is you just, if you put your mind to something, sleep less.
Well, that's all the questions I have for you today. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you guys so much for watching the episode, and I really hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, please consider subscribing or following. And as always, we're having conversations that build the next generation. Peace out.